the MMA fortune teller.
The teller, the teller, the teller, the teller, the teller, the teller.
What is up, you guys? Dana White's Contender Series 2020 Week 4. The series continues, and these fighters tonight, man, they have a tough act to follow. In my opinion, last week's episode was probably one of the best episodes that we've had since the series has started. So if these fighters don't go out there and just go balls to the wall, these fights are going to seem boring compared to what we're used to seeing from this series. So good luck to these guys getting a contract. Last week we saw 4 fighters get a contract. We'll see how tonight goes. On paper, we got some very entertaining matchups. We got Jamie Pickett getting his third attempt to get a victory on the show and to potentially get a contract. We got some guys like Rafael, Alves, Titan FC veteran. This is a guy I've seen fight live. In his last fight, I saw him fight live, fighting a very tough opponent, Alejandro Flores. A lot of nice matchups. This guy Anthony Romero looks good, and we're gonna touch upon all these fights. In the first fight in the middleweight division, we got Colin, Huckbody taking on Kyron, Bowen. And this guy Colin, Huckbody, coming in 6'3", he's a big boy, only 25 years old. I'm gonna tell you right now, this guy is gonna look to get the takedown. That's what I've seen from him on tape. From the tape I was able to pull up, the very limited amount of tape, this guy definitely feels more comfortable on the mat. Seems to be a specialist with the arm triangle submissions too. This guy's pulled off I think about 6 arm triangle submissions. So when you start pulling off something, that often inside the cage, there's a reason why it's happening. It's not just sheer coincidence. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So I mean, and 5 times within 9 fights. So he's definitely good at the arm triangle submission. Keep an eye on that. Now you could look at that submission in a couple different ways. I mean, of course, like I said, at the end of the day, he's definitely good at it. But that is a pretty elementary submission, in my opinion. You could do a few things to set that submission up to be a little bit better than the average Joe at it. But for the majority of the time, if you're pulling off that submission, your opponent's pretty much giving it to you. He's probably battered. He's tired. He's kind of given up. He should see it coming, or he just has horrible submission defense. And I'll tell you the truth, some of the opponents that this guy has fought, are really not on the level. So got to kind of wonder about that. But this is a guy that he really wants to get the fight to the mat, and I think he could put himself in some vulnerable situations. Because, his takedowns are really not that impressive. I've seen him reaching a lot. He's just trying to get it to the mat at all costs, putting himself in vulnerable situations. So, a guy like, his opponent, Bowen, this is a guy that, as Conor McGregor said, is as stiff as a board. This guy has, doesn't look like he's that athletic at all, man. I don't know what the deal with this guy is. He's very stiff, but somehow he's finishing dudes left and right. And, I've seen some tape from him that I was not impressed with at all. He was getting taken down and whatnot, but then I saw, a little snippet of a shining light with him, and I saw him getting taken down in one fight. I see him get back up to his feet and then go instantly to the clinch and just throw a nasty knee and knock his opponent out. So this guy does have some flashes of something there. And if you take a look at his resume, even though it's lower level talent, this guy is finishing dudes, finishing people on the feet, pulling off arm bars. The dude is a dangerous fighter. I mean, the resume speaks for itself. I don't care who you're fighting. Even though when you watch him on tape, he's very stiff. I think this fight simply comes down to, can he not be controlled on the mat for 15 minutes or be submitted on the mat? And can he get back up to his feet or just stuff those takedowns from the beginning and put some damage on Colin? So that's the way I see this fight going. Huckbody, right around -175. I don't know. Sometimes it's nice to have that grappling guy. Your money behind the grappling guy. You feel comfortable. He's going to control the fight where the fight goes. And you can, when they get the fight down to the deep waters in the mat, you feel comfortable your guy's going to hold his own there. But also at the same time, when those guys can't get the fight down to the mat, man, those guys are vulnerable, man. And you'll watch your money disappear quick, with a nasty TKO or knockout. That fight, I think the fight's very close. I think we got to see how this fight's going to go. It's really hard to say with the limited amount of tape. Maybe Huckbody's going to control him on the mat, pull off a submission. We'll see. All right, in the next fight, this guy Anthony Romero looked pretty good on tape, man. The undefeated Canadian fighter Anthony Romero taking on Mike Breeden. And Anthony Romero likes to go by the nickname The Genius, only 23 years old, coming in with a 1-inch height advantage. We don't have a reach on him here, but I'll tell you what, he looks good on tape. You watch him on tape, he's very diverse with his striking. He looks the part, very physically fit, very quick, throws spinning attacks, all types of attacks. He's very balanced, even besides his spinning attacks, just his regular strikes are very, very crisp. Boxing's there. I was pretty impressed from what I saw from him. His opponent, though, is a tough customer as well. Mike Breeden. This dude is trained by the best of them. You guys are familiar with these dudes. James Krause, guy I've had in the show. Grant Dawson, one of the top up-and-coming fighters in the UFC. So, I know this picture's blurry, but I had to pull it up when I came across it just for the sheer fact that, this carries a lot of weight, man. This is the type of company you want, and James Krause has been grooming a lot of these young guys, polishing them up quick. But Anthony Romero, to me, really looks the part, and I feel like he's more likely to be the legit real UFC fighter. I could see this dude being a real UFC fighter here. Don't be surprised if he gets a contract. See them squaring off here. So Breeden actually looks a little bit more physically fit for this fight. Looks like he's cleaning up his act, because some of his other fights he looked a little soft to me too. Interesting too. I was looking into this. It says he's 5'10" here on Tapology. I find that hard to believe that he's only an inch shorter than Romero. As you see them squaring off, I'd say that's maybe 2 inches there. And I thought the 5'10" was a little weird too, because when I'm watching tape on him, he looked to be a little bit shorter in there than a lot of his opponents. But tough dude. I'll say this about him too, man. He really pushes the pace. He was putting it on some of his opponents. Some of the footage I was pulling up was a little bit older too, so maybe don't look too much into it. But there was points in time where he had his opponent hurt and he was throwing girl punches. I'm talking about back of the, like straight up girl punches at the bottom of the fist over here, instead of just stepping in and hitting with the, clean knuckles. That was a little weird to me, but that was a fight that took place 3-4 years ago, but I still found that a little bit weird. It's like he was just trying to get a quick stoppage and he was just throwing everything he had at him. But there was a couple girl punches that were thrown in that fight. So it's a little bit suspect, but he's 8-2. He's a tough dude fighting out of Lee Summit, Missouri. You know where all those killers are coming from with Krause. So I'm going to go with Anthony Romero to win this fight though. All right, and the next fight, we got some flyweights throwing down. Jeffrey Molina taking on Jacob Lil Animal Silva. He's a little animal, this guy, huh? Take a look at Jeffrey Molina. Jeffrey Molina, took some notes on this guy over here. He is another Krause product, another guy fighting out of Missouri. Tough little scrappy dude, man. I've seen some fights from him where he's getting taken down, controlled, gets back up to his feet, pulls off the finish in the second round. So a tough dude, man. He doesn't give up in there. What else we got in him? Oh, he's definitely a finisher too as well. You take a look at his resume. The dude is definitely pulling off finishes, and this is not something that you typically see from a flyweight fighter too, right? A lot of submissions, knockouts. This dude goes out in his shield too. His first loss was a rear naked choke loss, but for the most part, besides one fight, they're all finishes. So you could, and from what you see from him on tape, that's what you can expect. This guy's gonna bring it. So expect a very entertaining fight. This is his opponent, Jacob Silva, little animal. Saw a fight here of him, back and forth. He really likes to bring the pressure, as Jacob does. He likes to bring the pressure. Got an early takedown in that fight, but puts himself in some vulnerable situations. He gets reversed a lot, but he somehow manages to get back up to his feet, and he'll go back in for a takedown from what I've seen from him. But if he gets a takedown, don't think that he's the type of dude that's just going to hold position. This guy can easily be reversed. He's on a 6-fight win streak. He's been finishing dudes too, so the power's there in his hands. He can knock you out. And after starting off his career a little slow, he's been putting it together here. He's 32 years old already, so now is his time. The flyweight division is pretty shallow, so if one of these guys makes a statement, they can get a contract and they can be, thrown right into the top 10 pretty quickly. You get a couple, not even a couple. You get one impressive victory in the UFC, you'll be fighting for a top 10 spot before you know it. So take a look at the line. Yeah, Molina's coming in at right around a 2-1 favorite. Makes sense. The dude's tough. Might be a little bit high, for two guys that you really don't have a lot of tape to study. It's a lot of variables, a lot of question marks. But based off what I could see, I guess makes somewhat sense. But Not sure if I feel super confident. I mean, this might be a scrap. That's kind of what I'm expecting in this fight, to see a bit of a scrap here. But Molina probably should take it, the LFA veteran. All right, this next fight, man. This fight's gonna be fireworks. I think. I have a feeling. This fight might be fireworks here. Actually, any of these fights can be fireworks, really. But these guys right here, I seen this guy Rafael Alves. I saw him fight live in his last fight, as I said earlier, taking on Alejandro Flores, a guy that trains with Yair Rodriguez, a very tough customer. He's already had 19 professional fights. He's 17-2. The Mexican fighter, you gotta love to see the Mexican fighters, making their way into the UFC. I love to see the sport growing over there. Very tough people. They love their boxing, and you love to see them coming over to the MMA game. Rafael Alves, of course, the Brazilian fighter, very, very well-rounded. This guy can knock you out. He can submit you. Good submission defense. He can grapple with you. He can wrestle. All that stuff. 29 years old, training over at MMA Masters. Believe he may have even cross-trained with ATT. I thought I saw a little something of that too. Bottom line, he's in South Florida. When you're in South Florida, man, you're bouncing around or whatever you're doing with MMA Masters. You got guys coming in and out of that gym and that are there all the time as well. But some of the best fighters in the world, you guys know the deal with that. So, he's getting some great training. And saw this Jason Fisher fight. He got injured in that fight. That was a little bit of a weird situation. I think he had a pretty serious injury. But he since bounced back, strung off 4 victories in a row. Like I said, I was there for the Felipe Douglas fight. Knocked him out. That was a nasty knockout. Put it on him. The crowd was going nuts in that fight. From what I remember, man, I was a little loose in that event. That's where the event that Dana White was there. I was sitting right next to Dana White, man, trying to get his attention during the entire fight. Luckily, I met him after the event, as you guys see in the little video, my intro video. But I was trying to get Dana's attention the whole time. Security had to threaten me that they're going to kick me out. That was the Dana White's looking for a fight where he came down over here. And there was also a UFC event the next day. And but yeah, man, Felipe Douglas obviously made an impact that night, and Dana White since then he's giving him the opportunity here on Dana White's Contender Series. And I think these two fighters may be the most talented fighters as far as just like sheer well-roundedness and UFC readiness. These guys might be ready to be on the big show. I think their records, their resume speaks for themselves. And a couple losses too. Wagner Rocha, very tough customer too. Thiago Trotter, a lot of losses here too, man. But he's been cleaning it up and he brings it. He's a well-rounded dude. So as far as who I'm gonna pick in this fight, the line is pretty much what I pick 'em, right? It is a pick 'em, and I think that's reasonable. I think that's probably where it should be. Just to touch upon Flores too, man. Training with Yair Rodriguez. This guy is pretty quick on the feet. He'll throw some wild attacks at you. Seen him throw a couple spinning back fists, stuff like that. He tries to be a little flashy in there. A couple, throw a flying knee at you if he hurts you. The dude's polished up. 19 professional fights. I don't care who you're fighting. If you're putting a resume like that together, it's impressive. Although some of his early victories are not the biggest of names and whatnot. You're not gonna know probably any of those guys, but. I'm gonna go with the Brazilian fighter here, Rafael Alves. I'm gonna edge him. I think he may be a little bit more well-rounded. I know he was preparing for this big opportunity for quite some time, and I think he may pull this fight off. It's an extremely close fight. Fight can go either way. Take a look at him here, man. He's ripped up, comes in great shape, very strong dude. I think he may be a little bit stronger in the grappling exchanges, maybe a little bit more polished up with his BJJ. Maybe he could use the ground game a little bit to try to win this fight. Whereas Flores probably has a little bit of the edge on the feet. Although, again, Alves can knock you out too. So it's a nice matchup. Tune in. It's going to be a good one. All right. At the main event now. And, man, we got Jhonoven Pati taking on Jamie Pickett. Pati 6-3, Pickett 10-4. I think that this is the main event here strictly based on the fact that these guys bring it. I think that's straight up what this is. These are two guys that the UFC knows they're going to deliver. It's going to be an entertaining fight. That's what this show's about. And this guy Pati, he's the Samoan Savage. I think the name is fitting. This guy's super cocky in there, super confident. He's going to walk across the cage. He's going to be ready for whatever. If you want to brawl it out, you want to you know, you want to try to do a point style fighting, he's down for whatever. But the guy's he's not afraid to take shots. He'll eat your shots from what I saw from him. Comes in a little bit chubby. A lot of these Samoan dudes kind of have that physique for some reason. Must be the diet or something. I don't know. If you notice, a lot of those Samoan guys, they tend to carry a little bit of extra weight on them. And they also tend to carry a lot of power. Man, these guys carry power. They'll knock you out. Take a look at what Pati's been doing. Coming off two finishes, a guillotine and a knockout of Marcus Andrushia. Lost to Collin Hill. Collin Hill, you know, very talented fighter. He was on Dana White's Contender Series, LFA veteran, very skilled fighter. Then he also lost to Punalele Seriano, who Jamie Pickett also lost to. Seriano, since in the UFC, that guy throws bombs. That guy will knock out anybody. And he did hurt Pickett. That was in his last fight on the Contender Series show. And then after that, he bounced back with the victory. He also lost to Charles Byrd. So like I said, this is his third opportunity. Probably going to be the last shot that he gets, man. If he doesn't do something here, doesn't matter if you keep delivering. You lose 3 times on the show. I don't think they're going to give you another chance. So this is a big fight for Pickett. I think Pickett's going to be a little bit more quicker on the feet. I think he'll be a little bit more relaxed in there. This is his third time in there. It's becoming his second home. And, you know, at certain times, I did feel that Pati was a little bit had a little bit of low volume, so that's one thing you got to watch out too. You know, sometimes he was kind of sitting back. He's a little bit too relaxed. I think Pickett might out volume him a little bit. I'll pick Pickett to win the fight. All right. So I hope you guys enjoy these fights. Getting this out to you again here Tuesday early afternoon, late morning. Sorry again. I'm gonna try to get these out later. I know I'm playing you guys. I keep saying that, but I promise you guys I will. You guys enjoy the show tonight. If you guys get any questions, man, comment and DM me. And Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, I'm gonna have a special fighter, man, joining the show. MMA live discussion. Please like this video and subscribe. And I got 3 plays locked in for this weekend. And I feel very, very good about this weekend. If you're interested in the plays and interested on the pricing, reach out to me. And I appreciate all you guys, all right? You guys have a great rest of your guys' week, and we'll catch up Thursday. Take care. Signing out. The Teller.
The MMA fortune teller.
The teller. The teller. The teller. The teller. The teller.